Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a reading specifically for the Divine Feminine. If you are Divine Masculine that is watching this, you can watch it for your Divine Feminine to kind of understand what it is that she's experiencing. If you're Divine Feminine watching this, watch this for yourself. If you watch it however it resonates for you, but this is specifically going to be for the Divine Feminine who can feel something in the energy field, and it might be bringing up some triggers for her. Specifically, she can feel union in her energy field, and it's bringing up some triggers for her. And I feel like this full moon in Gemini that's coming up is going to be really pivotal as far as helping to integrate a lot of this energy of the union and even helping to release some of this doubt, this lack, this fear that might be coming up because we can feel the energy of the union coming in. Okay, so here's what happened. I'm going to recount it first from my own experience, and then I'm going to do some channeling because we're in this together. We're going to explore this together. I need these messages just as much as you guys do. I've gotten a couple of emails and messages from you guys, comments from you guys, saying that you have been either pulling the same cards as confirmation or you've been experiencing the same energies as confirmation. And the same kind of stuff is coming up for you. We've talked about this in the past several Sacred Union energy updates. Last Friday, not this past Friday, but a week ago, I felt a major energy shift. And since then, all I've felt is the energy of union and my counterpart. Now, we've felt this over the course of this journey in little pockets, but it hasn't felt as prevalent as it does now. And when we felt this in pockets, we've actually seen the manifestation of this in our physical experience with perhaps a little bit of communication or a little bit of moving forward in your connection or more expression, more vulnerability, more healing in some respect, more growth and expansion in your connection and in yourself in some respect. This energy feels transformative in the way of what we've been channeling, where a phase of your journey has come to an end over the course of the past several months, the past year, and you've been in this transition period of entering into a new phase of your journey because you've entered into a new embodied energy. And it's a very specific phrase that they're saying there, a new embodied energy. You are now embodying the new frequency. Not just that you're feeling it, not just that you're transforming into that new frequency, but now you are fully embodying that new energy, that new frequency. And you can feel that. It feels like an entirely new energy. If you were to look back at the past couple days, weeks, months, if especially you would look to look back at the beginning of your journey, your ascension, if you were to look back at, earlier stages in your life, you can see there's always been this difference in energy that you were in. And every stage of your life has a different energy about it, right? That's just part of our expansion, our evolution. But when you look back specifically at where you were at the beginning of your ascension journey, when you were activated to the sacred union path of ascension with your counterpart, you can really see the difference in energy and how you're embodying this. You can feel that within yourself. Maybe it's more peace. Maybe it's more joy. Maybe it's just the healing of the old aspects of yourself, the releasing of old aspects of yourself. You are truly embodying this new energy. And even if other people might not be able to see it, maybe because they don't want to see it, maybe because they're still looking at old versions of you, you can feel it within yourself. And that is the most important thing. Your embodiment, your higher frequency, your anchoring in, your integration, how you feel it, your truth. As long as you are being authentic to who you are. Okay. It's really interesting, this energy. What happened this morning was I work during the weekends, right, at the crystal shop, the metaphysical shop. And so I try to get as much done as I can with the written channelings and the Instagram posts and all that stuff, right, as part of my business. But I've also been taking some time for myself because my health and my well-being and all that good stuff, I've really been trying to take some time to myself. And so this morning I wanted to be a little bit of a slower morning. But I sat down at my desk, and as I sat down at my desk just to check my emails before going to work, I received this phrase, "You won't see this coming." And I'm like, pray tell, Spirit, tell me more. What won't I see coming? But it's been an energy that we have been channeling for the past several weeks, even the past several months, really. But it's really been almost like right in our faces. It feels like it's right here, even though we can't physically see it yet, or we might not be able to physically see it yet. The energy is so incredibly strong. And what is the energy? The energy is your counterpart. Your counterpart is right there with you. You can feel them, almost as if you're going to pick up the phone and that's them calling, or you're going to turn around and that's them there. It is so incredibly strong, and you felt that along your journey. That's the connection that you have. That's the bond that you have, the telepathic communication that you guys have. That's how strong it is. And telepathy is not just thoughts. Telepathy is energy. It's feeling. It comes about in a number of different ways. And the deeper your bond and the more intimate you are with one another, the stronger the connection, the more you have that telepathic experience. So it's been right there. So visceral. And visceral is such a key word here. It's been so visceral. So I said, okay. And it's something that I've been feeling for quite a while now. I said, okay, I'm not going to see this coming, but that brings up a lot of anxiety. So I grabbed a deck and I just decided to shuffle some cards and see, okay, what's going on here? Let's do a Sacred Union Energy update, a written channeling. Let's, get a post up on my Instagram. Let's see what's going on. Well, I shuffled and 3 cards came out, one after the other. 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, and the Lovers, in this order. And I said, holy smokes. And then I looked at the bottom of the deck, because I always take from the bottom of the deck as well. We had the moon and we had the star as well. And I said, that's it. I said, that's it. I'm done. I retired. This is it. No more channeling for me. And of course, I'm kidding. But it was just kind of crazy. Like, this is crazy energy. So I'm going to read to you what I said in the reading here. So I said, I'm kidding, of course. This journey is, in fact, a journey versus a destination. And we all know there's so much more in how we grow and expand in love, particularly in partnership with another. But holy smokes, when I sat down to do a quick check-in on the energies, and the 10 of Cups, the 2 of Cups, and the Lovers came out, I pretty much folded in ultimate surrender. Okay, universe, you've got me. This is happening. It's always been happening. I just have to relinquish any semblance of knowing and let it be. This is picking up on the energy we've channeled continuously on my YouTube channels, that you've always been in union, but now it's manifesting within your physical world. And what I mean by that is, over the course of the past several years, really, maybe past a couple months or so, but really the past several years, we've been channeling the understanding that you have always been in union, that the physical separation is just physical separation, but you don't always feel that. Right? Especially as a human, it's hard to understand, it's hard to grasp, and you don't always feel that within, especially because the 3D illusion can be so incredibly strong. So what's been happening along your journey, part of your ascension, is understanding not just with your mind that illusion is that separation is an illusion, but to integrate that. You feel that within. By understanding that you are not separate from anything in the world, you're not separate from your counterpart, you're especially not separate from God or yourself. That's been part of this process of your journey. Consciously understanding this is different than integrating that understanding and really feeling it, and bringing it to your conscious awareness is one thing, but feeling it on a very intuitive an energetic level is something else. It's another layer of your ascension, another layer of your growth and expansion. So everything you've intuitively felt and known is coming true, though you're being asked to still surrender to the space between trust and faith. In that space between trust and faith is where true surrender resides. I feel as if the upcoming moon is having a significant role in this, as it feels particularly transformative in releasing the remainder of doubt and lack within yourself, which may display itself in many different scenarios, including feelings of unworthiness, lack of confidence, disconnect from yourself or from God. It's going to relay itself in a number of different ways, but it's this residual debris that's coming up to the surface that's dislodging to be released, especially when it comes to this connection specifically. You might be working on your own individual ascensions, but when it comes to your connection with your counterpart, you could still have some residual fears that are coming up, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. Union within and without is a process, an unfolding, a journey all wrapped up in the human experience we call life, especially as we undergo this ascension process and embody being a spiritual being within a physical world. You've come home to yourself on a deeper level than ever before. You are remembering, without the false mask of the ego, that you are magical, you are divine, and you are infinite. It's here in your embodiment that there's a sense of humility that comes through. That's what we say, without the false mask of the ego. You're remembering your magic, you're remembering your divine, you're remembering your infinite with a sense of humility, a humbleness. It's here in your embodiment of the sacred within and your connection to God that you remember you co-create with the universe itself. As above, so below. You are the bridge between both worlds. We talk about that a lot. It's grounded spirituality. Your energetic world with a sacred partner is now converging in the physical. As the process continues to unfold, allow yourself to explore the magic of your journey as you fully embody love within and around you. Okay, so that's what I channeled. And when I was looking at this spread, I was just like, holy smokes. And there's a little bit of fear coming up. And I think that we've all felt that fear throughout the course of this journey. It's the fear, not so much fear, it's the, could this really be happening? It's not fear so much as it is disbelief. I think disbelief is a better word, but I feel like there's a lack that comes alongside that. There's a doubt and a sense of fear that comes alongside that. That's what disbelief really is. Well, if I really believe this to be true, then what if it doesn't happen? That's the fear. That's the lack. So I'm going to share my own experiences. Like, my ego wants to step forward, especially when I'm channeling and look at these messages and look at these cards and look at what it is that I'm receiving and say, this can't be true. This can't be, it's too good to be true. How could this possibly be true? Because this is what I experienced in the past. This is what my counterpart showed me, or this is what he's showing me now by his actions or by his lack of actions or by his words. But Spirit reminds us that ego is the repetition. Ego is the place of safety. It tries to protect you. It tries to create, it's a defense mechanism. It tries to protect you. It's your survival mode. And there's a use for the ego, or at least there has been a use for the ego. But part of our ascension journey is transcending that, learning how to integrate the ego so that the soul speaks louder, so that you are in tune with your soul. You're connected with your soul and yourself enough, yourself being your soul. You're connected enough to yourself and to God through your soul self, through that sacredness, that you understand that you don't have to live in the ego anymore, that you're not living in the ego, you're living from the place of the soul. You're living in your connectedness to yourself, to God, and to all. So the ego wants to protect, but the ego lives in the past. The ego lives, the way that the ego protects you, and again, it served its purpose. But the way that the ego protects you is by saying, oh, this is a pattern. We've seen this before. We've been in this cycle before. Here, let's prepare ourselves so that we don't get hurt. Let's prepare ourselves so that we don't have to experience that pain or that heartbreak or that trauma again. And that's what the ego does. The ego likes the familiar because the familiar has a certain certainty to it, has a certain sense of control to it. But once you completely surrender to your soul, to your connection to God, again, in that place between trust and faith, it's trust in yourself, it's trust in God, it's faith in yourself, it's faith in God. It's that inner knowing. The more that you do that, the more that you relinquish the ego's need for control and for that protective survival mechanism. So you might be having some ego flares, and that's okay. We don't judge that. There's no need for judging. We have a lot of loving compassion towards ourselves because, again, ascension is a journey. Ascension is a process where we are releasing that past programming. We are releasing that past patterning. And so if we have ego flares, we treat ourselves in kindness and we hold space for ourselves. Because what we're doing is we are transforming or ascending out of that version of ourselves where the ego is still kind of residing and flaring, and we're moving into a new energy and a new frequency. So when your ego flares, it's because you're transitioning, especially when you're on the ascension journey, you're transitioning out of that old pattern through your conscious awareness. When you're aware, oh, my ego's flaring, oh, this is fear, this is doubt, this is lack, you're becoming aware of it. And because of your awareness, you're able to shift the pattern. You're able to shift into a new energy, into a new reaction, into a new action, to a new choice, decision, whatever, a new pattern. Not even a pattern, they said that's not the right word, into a new fill in the blank. So, okay, a lot of us as divine feminines can feel this energy. And I said this in the last Sacred Union Energy update, that it's like we have to release what it looks like. We have to release even who, what, where, when, why, how, all of that stuff. We have to keep releasing that. Our ego is trying to hold on to maybe a specific person or maybe a specific outcome or maybe a specific timeline, trying to have that sense of certainty. When you surrender to that place of trust and faith, where you know that you're working with God and that God's got you, the universe has got you, the universe is holding you, then you can release that expectation and say, you know what? I can feel this. I can feel my union. I can feel this union with a counterpart. I can feel this partnership coming in. I can feel my dreams taking root. And it may not look like what I expected, but that's where I let go and let it be. There's the reason why it feels so difficult, I think, is because, especially for divine feminines, this journey has been so incredibly difficult. And I talk about this a lot. It's been difficult for the divine masculines as well. We really honor the divine masculines. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I always speak about my divine masculine and the conscious divine masculine as a whole, as a collective, in a very sacred light with a lot of respect. Because they're owed that. This is a very difficult journey for both of you. The reason why it's especially different and difficult for the divine feminines, and maybe of equal measure in difficulty, but I'm speaking for the divine feminines right now. The reason why it's so challenging and difficult and often painful for the divine feminines is because she does have this whole picture. She has this conscious awareness of the whole picture of the journey. And part of her lesson has been learning how to trust in her intuition, even if the 3D physical world shows her something completely different. And it's especially painful when it's experienced with a divine counterpart, whether that's a catalyst or whether that is a sacred partner. It's especially difficult because you're looking through the lens of love. And you are moving through this healing journey, this remembering journey, through that lens of love and through that lens of intuition, where you are following your heart and opening up your heart, letting that guide you, letting your soul lead you, moving more deeply inward, more authentically real to you, which means being vulnerable and being intimate and opening up in ways that you never have before. really allowing yourself to express the depths of yourself, especially with a partner. And so when it feels like that door is closed, or when it feels like communication shuts down, or when it feels like what is being portrayed in the physical isn't matching what you're receiving with your intuition, it makes you doubt yourself. And that can be incredibly painful because that creates a sense of disconnect. And you might have experienced this, divine masculines as well, you might have both experienced this at some level along your life journey. Not just your ascension journey, but along your life journey where, especially as children, you might have had an intuition about something, but somebody shut that down or made you doubt yourself or made you second guess yourself. I'm getting called to a reminder about a friend who wanted more than anything to be a writer. And she had a teacher who said, you're never going to be a writer. You're not going to amount to anything. And she was really, really gifted. And she lost that faith in herself. And she shut that gift of hers down. When we're loved well, we light up. When we're loved well, we can do everything and anything. Nothing is impossible. But when we allow other people's judgments or expectations or projections to seep into us, that's when we lose sight of ourselves. That's when we doubt ourselves, and that's when we disconnect from ourselves. Divine Feminines, I feel like this journey for you, for both of you really, has been about coming home to yourself. But for you, Divine Feminines, it was really about trusting in yourself and trusting in your intuition, which is one of your greatest gifts. And Divine Masculine has that gift as well of their intuition as their own feminine energy within them. But as the core feminine energy, as who you are, Divine Feminines, it's part of your very sacredness. You had to learn along this journey to really tune in and trust in your intuition. And especially with your counterpart, when the 3D never matched up, it was quite confusing. And you had to go through it all in your mind. Am I going crazy? Am I making all of this up? Is this real? You questioned yourself. You questioned them. You questioned the journey. You questioned God. You questioned it all. Is this real? Is this love real? Am I actually feeling love from my counterpart? Am I actually feeling what's real and what's true? And at the end of it all, hopefully, you're at this stage, you came home to this feeling of, yes, yes it is. And I'm going to believe in it and trust in it and have faith in it. Not from a place of that delusion, not from that place of I'm going to, deny everything about my physical reality and live in this fantasy world. We talk a lot about balance on my channel because that's what Spirit taught me. It's grounded spirituality. It's about being the bridge between the spiritual realms, the energetic realms, and the physical experience. And when we're in the sacred partnership, and this was a very difficult lesson for me to learn, it's about accepting what's being shown to you in the physical and also trusting in the energy. It's a balance. It's a hard balance to attain, but that's part of the lesson that we learn. Trusting in what we are receiving, trusting in the energy of what we're feeling, trusting in our intuition, trusting in our hearts, while also accepting, okay, that this might be my physical reality right now. Doesn't mean it's going to be my physical reality for the rest of my life. It's a balance that is attained. And in that balance, we reach our inner union. In that balance, we recognize the illusion of separation. As an anecdote, I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Is my person my person? Is he my sacred partner? Is he my life partner? Back and forth and not knowing what it is I should believe in. What it is I should believe in based on the physical evidence, based on the physical data and reality is showing me. In my heart of hearts, I know I love my person. My person who I have known almost my entire life, but I didn't recognize way back when. I wasn't ready to recognize. That was a wound that I had to heal. That was something that I had to forgive and seek forgiveness from. But when we were activated to ascension together, I just felt that connection, felt that home, felt that love, felt that compatibility on all levels. And I knew. But the physical looked very different. Because even though I was feeling his love for me in return, it always felt like there was a wall up. It always felt like there was a wait a minute, nope, don't want this. And so that created so much doubt within me. Well, wait a minute, but I'm feeling this. I don't understand. I'm feeling this from him. And we're even moving forward in so many ways in our physical world. I'm just keeping my heart open. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just trying to understand what's at play here. And so I'd have communication with him and try to express myself to him. And it would be even more confusing because I felt like the words weren't aligning with the actions. And I just wanted to understand what was happening. I just wanted to understand, was it real? Or was I making all of it up? And so somewhere along my journey, I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And somewhere along my journey, I just said, you know what? I can accept what's being shown to me in the physical on certain layers, certain levels. You know, certain aspects had to be changed and had to be healed and how to grow from. But certain levels, I was like, okay, you know what? I have to accept this. But I can also find truth in my intuition. Two truths can coexist. That this is what's happening in the physical world, but I also know what I feel within my heart. And so that's where the beginning of my inner union began to anchor in. Where I began to feel, you know what? I don't feel separate from him. I don't feel lacking. No matter where it is that we are in our physical world, on our individual journeys, I know we're still as one. I know we're still together. In the energetic realms, perhaps just simply in the energetic realms, only in the energetic realms. But they kept bringing me back to The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Beautiful book. It's a story of ascension. And about how Santiago had a journey. And he met his sacred partner. He met his twin flame. But he had a journey. And she knew that. And so she had to accept and trust in the power of their love and in their love at all. And I feel like that's kind of where we've been. Anchoring into that sacred union where we are trusting in our intuition now. Honoring our intuition and what it is that we're feeling, where we feel our connectedness to our counterparts. We feel that love for them and from them, but we're also in this place of acceptance. And that acceptance is unconditional love. Because I realized over the course of these past several months, wherever, and I've said this and believe this over the course of these several years that I've known him, no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, no matter what he chooses for his life, I only want him to be happy and healthy and successful and loved. And to recognize his magic and to recognize himself and to recognize his love. I want that for him. And it's not sacrificing of myself. That might have been an energy I was in my wounded state a long, long time ago. But I mean it with pure unconditional love, and I always have. It's not sacrificing of myself to want that for him, because I don't feel the lack anymore. I don't feel the separation. It's not an attachment, it's not a clinginess, it's not a neediness. It's just a deep desire for him to know how deeply he's loved, and for him to have the best life for himself, whatever that means. Because I know that I want the same for myself too. I should say, and I know that I want the same for myself too. It's not an either or. That is unconditional love. It is unconditional love. And as much as I think that I thought I knew that and I thought I felt that, I didn't realize that before this journey. That's what this journey has brought. A new understanding of love. So when I'm looking at these cards and I see the 10 of Cups and the 2 of Cups and the Lovers and the Moon and the Star, it's like, my goodness, trusting our intuition. Being the bridge. You see how she's holding up the stars and she's bringing it down to earth, and in between, as above, so below, being the bridge and trusting your intuition as that bridge, and knowing that this sacred union is playing out. Maybe it's not with the person that I thought it would be with. I fully believe that he is my twin. I truly believe that he is my person. In my heart, he is the person that I love most in this world. Always have. There was so much toxicity in our physical experience because of so much pain that kept coming to the surface between us. And we just couldn't get it together. We just couldn't. But he's still my person in my heart. He's still the person I love most in this world. And he's still the person that I know is my divine masculine and my partner. In my intuition, two truths can hold true. My ego is in a place of fear of, well, what if he doesn't believe that? What if I'm not his divine feminine? What if I'm not his partner? What if I'm not his person? What if he hates me? What if he blames me for this journey, for his life, for everything? What if he's angry with me? What if he doesn't feel love for me? There are 1,000 what ifs. But my one truth in my heart, when I sit in the stillness, when I go deep within and I trust myself and I honor myself, I feel love. I've said this before where when I'm channeling, I have no idea what's going to come out. I give it to God. I channel directly through God and various aspects of God when Ascended Masters and Galactic Counselor, my dragons come through. I channel through them, but it's all aspects of God. It's all coming through God. Connected through God. Even when I'm sitting here doing the channeling, there's a part in the back of my mind because my conscious mind steps back so that even when I'm doing this, and this is channeling here because my conscious mind steps back and what's coming through is a flood of energy that I then have to kind of articulate into words, and I just open my mouth and the words come because it's coming from the heart. It's the same way when I write. There's a difference between when I write from my headspace and when I write from my heart and my soul. It comes up from the core of my being and spills out through my mouth. It's this energy. So my conscious mind takes a step back, but it's still there. It's not like trance channeling. It's still there. So when I'm doing these readings, these words are pouring out of my mouth as I'm channeling, and my conscious mind in the back is like, that's not true. That can't be true. Are you sure you should be saying this? Are you sure this is real? But I have to. At some point, I just surrendered. I have to believe what I channel. I don't direct anything. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't lead anything. It's just what's here. It's just what comes out. And it's been like this for my whole journey. When I met my divine counterpart, I did not expect this whole journey. I didn't want this whole journey. I didn't want it to be him. I've known him since elementary school. I said, how is it this man that I've met when we were 10 years old, how is it him? But it's always been him. And he recognized it before I even could. And I've had to reconcile that and heal that within myself and forgive myself for that and ask for forgiveness from him. I didn't expect it to be him, but it was. And I can't deny that. I can't deny how it is that I feel. And I don't want to do that anymore. Throughout the whole course of this journey, from the minute that we encountered each other again 5 years ago, I said to myself, I'm just going to keep an open heart. Something inside me told me, my intuition told me, just keep your heart open. Don't close yourself down. And that's what I've done along the entire journey. Not knowing where it was going, not expecting anything. That's what I did when I started my channel. I wanted it to go one way, it went another. So I just surrendered and let it go. And it brought me here. So that's what I mean when I say I have no choice but to believe. Because of how I've been guided. And how my intuition has always guided me. You look at these cards and it's not just the cards. The cards are just physical paper. It's the energy behind them that we've been feeling. The cards are just tools and confirmations. It's the energy behind it that we've been feeling of this union. Because you feel the union within yourself. And you feel that union with a partner, a physical partner coming in. Because of the growth that you've done. Because it is time. It is time for twin flames. It is time for sacred partners because of the work that you've done, because of the healing that you've done, because of the growth and the expansion of your ascension journey. It is time. A lot of us are in a period of fear and doubt. What happens when you actually have that conversation, especially if you've been in separation with your counterpart, or if you haven't seen them in a while, or if the last encounter that you had with them maybe was less than idyllic. Situations are going to display themselves in a little bit of a different way, but there's this sense of overwhelm and fear, and it's like we channeled recently, it's a little bit of a tower moment, causing you a little bit of anxiety. Yeah, on the surface, you're all cool, calm, and collected. On the surface, you know that you're at peace. You know inwardly you've got this. It's that Nine of Pentacles energy where she's just like, yeah, I'm cool. And you are. And you are. That's where this journey has led you. It's led you to this place of peace where you are good. You are feeling empowered. You're in your self-mastery. You're in your loving embodiment. Here comes your counterpart, shaking all of that up. That's what they're meant to do too, they're saying. That's what they're meant to do too. To shake up those remnants of doubt. To shake up those little pieces of anxiety, those pockets of fear that might still be within you. The what happens when. The what ifs. What if he's mad at me? What if he's angry? What if he feels this? What if he doesn't feel this? What if he doesn't love me? What if he doesn't want this? What if we encounter each other and it's like the past? What if we have an interaction and the cycle repeats itself? What if the patterns repeat? The only thing you can be sure of is yourself. Your new energy, your transformation, your growth. Be in that place between trust and faith. That place of complete surrender to yourself. Trust in the universe. Trust that God is holding you in that sacred space, and trust that you are holding yourself. That's your inner union too. Your inner masculine, your inner feminine coming into balance within yourself. Yes, when you're in sacred partnerships and these twin flames connections, you have that embodied in another person. So you have that polarity with your connection. Your masculine is your inner masculine. Their feminine is you, divine feminine. It's embodied in your physical partnership, but it's also within you. That's where there is no separation. It is also within you. And so allow your own inner masculine to hold that space for your emotion, to hold that space for your fear, to bring you that security and that stability and that protectiveness, and say, I am here for you, I am here for you, I am here for you, and I love you. Let your inner masculine be that container that you need for you to feel safe, for you to feel secure, and for you to feel present. That's your inner masculine. So that no matter what happens in the physical experience, no matter what your encounter pertains or contains, that you are held, you are loved, you are supported. Because it is bringing up a lot of fear and doubt and anxiety. What if? What happens next? I'm not prepared for this. This is scary. I don't know where this leads. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when this is going to happen. Let your own inner masculine hold you in that space, knowing that you have transformed into a new energy, knowing that you are different. And that is the most important aspect, your expansion and your growth. To acknowledge, that's the most important aspect to acknowledge for yourself, your expansion and your growth. And as you expand and grow, you're inviting in that partner who has done the same. I can't say here what this means. I'm feeling the effects of the ego as well. I'm feeling the anxiety and the doubt and the fear. Who's he going to be? If he's the masculine that I've always known, what energy is he going to be in? How is he going to feel towards me? Because right now it looks very, very different than what I ever anticipated and what I've ever believed to be. What's it going to be? Some of us might also be in the energy of who's it going to be? Because there could be that as well. You can feel the union, but who's attached to that union? What energy is attached to that union? What person is attached to that union energy? We're experiencing this in a number of different ways. Allow yourself to feel through it. Allow yourself that loving compassion. But don't let your mind spiral. Tune into the sacredness of your own soul. Tune into the sacredness of your connection with your counterpart. Tune into the love. Tune into the heart. Tune into the truth of your own intuition. Tune into your connection. All right, you guys, I wanted to see if there was anything else that Spirit wanted to say, but I think they're pulling back, so I feel like that's going to be it for tonight. We're going to continue to do readings about this energy. I'm going to take a little bit of a break over the next couple of days just to get my health back up to par. It's been a busy week and weekend, but I will do readings as I'm called to, but I feel like this is the message for a little bit now. We're going to come back, I think, with the full moon and do a reading and see what's shifting, what's changing, but I feel like this is the energy that we need to sit with for a little bit, to really acknowledge, to really sink into that place of trust and faith and surrender and the balance between it all. And we'll see what's to come. I am sending you all so much love and so much light, and we'll see you soon. Bye.